Welcome guys. In this video, I'm gonna go over assembly and tuning of the ZippyLucha handles. So for this assembly process, you'll need the ZippyLucha handles, which will be mailed to you, as well as the included hardware kit. You'll also need to supply your own Kershaw Lucha live blade and the 2 stock Zen pins included in the stock Lucha. To disassemble your Lucha, you're going to need a T8 and a T6 driver. I'm not going to go over Lucha disassembly. That's pretty intuitive and very simple, but just know I do not supply a Torx driver, so you'll need to do that yourself and disassemble your Lucha so that you have the live blade and the 2 stock Zen pins. So here's what comes in the kit. You're going to get these ZippyLucha handles, the weights and pivots and race washers will already be installed. If they fell out during shipping though, you just pop them back in. It's super simple. So the first thing, I'll just go ahead and pop the Zen pins in. And we'll dump out this hardware kit. You can use the stock bearings that come with the Lucha. I include a new fresh set. They're the same types of bearings though. I opt to use the new set because why not? I do like to add some oil. I use 10 weight nano oil for all my bearing knives. So I'll just add a dab of oil to each race washer. And then I'm going to put the bearing with, there's 2 sides, like this open side where you can see the inside of the cage and the smooth side. The smooth side should always face the blade. So smooth side up here, smooth side up, and we'll put the blade on. The blade can go either way. I typically put the bite handle this way, just have it. And then we'll add 2 other bearings, again smooth side facing the blade, so that open side is going to face up. And I'll just add just a drop of lube inside the cage to each bearing. You can use pretty much any lube you want. The bearings will go faster if you use a lower viscosity, lower weight lube such as 10 weight, but heavy lubes will work fine too. It'll just slow down the bearings a bit, and over time it could gunk them up faster, but the performance will still be good. So now we're just gonna throw the scales on. So we'll just pop that on, make sure the Zen pin's lined up, push it down, do the same on the other side. And you'll use the included 2mm hex key to screw all of these in. And you just want to screw till you feel light resistance. You do not want to overcompress the plastic, that could damage it. You're just screwing in until there's a light resistance, and the screw head should be flush with the handle. And I'm feeling some light resistance. The screw head is just about flush with the handle, so I'm going to stop there. Teeny bit more. You'll know you're done screwing it in when the screw head is flush with the handle. It should not be poking up. So that's good. I'm just going to do the other side now. All right, and now we're ready to deal with the pivots. So first I'm just gonna push the handles together with the Zen pins to make sure those are seated properly. And now I'm going to add both of these M3 hex nuts. And I'll just start screwing them in. You want to make sure that the hex nut is aligned with the pocket so you don't damage the handles, and this is what's going to keep the hex nut in place. So there's a hex-shaped pocket, and you just have to make sure the hex nut is aligned with those as you screw it in. Cool. And again, I'm just gonna go until I feel, start to feel some resistance. And now I'm gonna do a handle play test or handle swing test. And actually, before I do that, when you assemble it, you're gonna have this gap, and you just push those together. They should just snap right in. And on the other side, there's the gap. You're just gonna push those together. You might hear a snap. Typically you will, but regardless, the gap has now been closed on either side. And now we'll just do one last push, make sure the Zen pins are seated properly, and we can go to the handle swing test. And you should have free swing, but you can adjust it, tighten it, or loosen it how you see fit. I think this handle's a little sticky, so I'm gonna loosen it slightly. Try again. That looks good. And then to make sure everything's assembled properly, I'm just gonna do a play test here. There should be 0 pivot play. If you flex the handles, let me raise this real quick. If you flex the handles, you know, there's plastic flex, so you will have some handle play. And you can actually flex the handles this way too. So there's going to be a little bit of play due to plastic flex, but to make sure that you're tuned properly, this should feel rock solid. This should feel like a freaking bank vault, like no movement whatsoever in the pivots, free handle swing. If you want to slow down the handle swing a little bit, you can use heavier lube. I find that the race washers do slow down the pivots compared to normal bearings, so they definitely feels a lot more like bushings. It's much more controllable. So I find that a lightweight lube does the trick, keeps the bearings running longer. Anyway, that's it. You successfully assembled and tuned your ZippyLucha. If you find that you are getting some pivot play, just go ahead and tighten the pivots up a bit more. If the handle swing is not smooth, you just need to loosen the pivots a little more with the provided tool. Too easy. Thanks, guys.